You used to be the good guy. Back in college, you organized protests for clean water. You volunteered at homeless shelters. You believed the system was broken and you were going to fix it. You ran for city council at 26. Your platform was simple: transparency, accountability, serving the people. You won by 12 votes. You actually did it. You exposed corruption in the public works department. You pushed through affordable housing initiatives. Local newspapers called you a breath of fresh air. You felt like a hero. Then you ran for Congress. Bigger stage, bigger stakes. You needed money for the campaign. Lots of money. A businessman showed up at your campaign office. No appointment, just walked in. Said he liked what you stood for and wanted to help. He wrote a check for $50,000. You asked what he wanted in return. Nothing, he said. Just keep being you. You won the election. You went to Washington. You were going to change everything. 3 months in, the businessman called. There was a vote coming up. A small tax provision. Nothing major. Would you consider voting yes? You looked at the bill. It was complicated, dense. The provision would save his company maybe $2 million in taxes. But it would also save thousands of other companies money too. Job creators. Economic growth. You voted yes. 6 months later, another call. Another vote. This one about environmental regulations. Loosening restrictions on manufacturing waste. You hesitated. This one felt different. You'd campaigned on environmental protection, but the businessman explained it carefully. The regulations were killing American jobs, forcing factories overseas. Was that what you wanted? Foreign countries with worse environmental standards doing the manufacturing instead? When he put it that way, voting no seemed almost irresponsible. You voted yes, again. Your environmental groups were furious. They felt betrayed. You lost some supporters, but you gained others. Business groups started praising you. Pragmatic, they called you. Realistic. The businessman invited you to dinner. Expensive steakhouse. He had friends he wanted you to meet. Other business leaders. They all had the same complaint. Too many regulations. Too much red tape. They just wanted to do business. You started taking their calls. Making introductions. Helping navigate the bureaucracy. Nothing illegal. Just helping constituents. That's what representatives do. 4 years later, you ran for Senate. The businessman and his friends donated the legal maximum. Then their wives donated, their children, their employees, their company's PACs. Suddenly, you had $3 million in campaign funds. You won in a landslide. The Senate was different. More power, more access, bigger players. That's when you met the fixer. He showed up at your office unannounced. Expensive suit. Again, this man made no appointment. Your assistant tried to stop him, but he walked right past her. He sat down across from you and smiled. "I solve problems," he said, "for people like you." You asked what kind of problems? The kind that end careers, the kind that ruin lives. I make them disappear. You should have kicked him out, called security, reported him. Instead, you asked him how. He leaned back in his chair. You have an opponent in your next election. Young guy, lots of energy, clean record. He's gaining in the polls. You knew who he meant. The polls had you up by only 5 points. What if, the fixer continued, someone discovered he had a gambling problem? Nothing illegal, just debts, bad decisions, the kind of thing that makes voters nervous. Well, does he have a gambling problem? The fixer smiled. He will. You told him to leave. You said you weren't interested, but he left a card on your desk.